All right, everyone, we are moving up the chakras, but just the logistics for tonight. If you have blocks, grab a couple of blocks perhaps. If you've got blankets, pillows, towels, something, where we're going tonight is our 6th chakra, which is up at our 3rd eye center. And so what we want to feel in some of these poses is just a little bit of pressure there, right? So it could be from hands or a pillow or a blanket, and we'll stack as needed as we go through our class tonight. So let's just do a quick review as you're getting yourself, wiggly and jiggly, settling yourself in. For those of you who haven't joined for the past couple of weeks, we've been on a chakra journey. And so we started with our root chakra, Muladhara. This is the connection that we have to home and safety, the things that keep us really strong and grounded. So that's at our pelvic floor area, right below the lowest part of our belly. And then just below our belly button, we have our 2nd chakra, which is Svadhisthana. That literally translates to one's own abode. So it's the place of your power. It's sort of like the feelings that you have in your gut, right? The 3rd chakra is above the belly button. And so in this chakra, this is Manipura. So this is I think I have mixed myself up. 2nd chakra, creativity. 3rd chakra, Manipura, the seat of your power. I mixed that up, my apologies. 4th chakra is Anahata. So this is this connection between our earthly bodies and our spiritual selves, if you like that translation, right? So the heart chakra, Anahata, is all about love and compassion and tenderness and really feeling that, right? And then our 5th chakra that we did last week is Vishuddhi, and this is sort of the power of our words, right? And also how we listen. So we connected that a lot to our 3rd chakra, to the Manipura, so the strength of who we are and how we express that. So tonight we're really going up into this spiritual world, and the focus is really sort of in this area, right? 3rd eye. The 6th sense is also something that might be interesting to think about. So with that all in mind, that was just a little bit of information. Let's now take that information and concentrate it in our body, in our breath, and in our mind, and invite that into our practice tonight. So you've done some wiggling and jiggling, and hopefully you're feeling a little bit centered in your seat. But if you're not, take the time to make those slight adjustments, maybe moving the flesh from your buttocks so that you feel a little bit more connected to the bony parts underneath. Right? Maybe you've already done this, but if you squiggle and wiggle from side to side and around, right? You're looking for that place where you're drawing energy in and up, right? So we're not sagging in our shoulders, we're not rounding backs, but we've got a nice long and tall spine. In our bodies, we're also just noticing where our head is, right? We've moved up in chakra world into our head. So notice where yours is. Is your chin jutting forth? Is it sagging towards the ground? Are you listing from one way to the other? Right? Maybe just a few movements there. Draw your chin back slightly so your ears are a little bit more over your shoulders. And take a deep breath and notice how it feels to be in this mindful alignment. And then keep your awareness with breath, and notice if you can extend your breath all the way down the spine and the front of your body, all the way down to the roots that you're growing into the ground in your seated position, and also all the way up, perhaps pausing at that 3rd eye space, or maybe sending some energy out through the crown of your head with a lift. Nothing to do here specifically, no judgments to be had, just some noticing and some guiding of body and breath into a more mindful and deliberate space. And then just some settling around heart and mind, noticing what's running through the thoughts, drawing those thoughts back in and saying, it's time to settle, it's time to center. Time to be in this moment, not what happened before you got on your mat and not what happens after. So as you continue this centering of body and mind and breath, I want to share a little bit more information about the sixth chakra to see if there's something that resonates with you tonight that you might want to inspire you on your mat, in your asana practice, and in your meditation practice. So the gift that comes with this third eye chakra is this idea of seeing both the inner and the outer world, the physicality and the intuition, the ability to self-reflect. Right? This chakra also has to do with perception as well as intuition. So we often think of sixth sense as intuition, but instead sometimes what we perceive as intuition is actually perception that's clouded by our own stories, what happened to us as a child, where we are in life right now. And so the more we can do some focused work with this chakra, the more we're able to distinguish slightly between perception and intuition. How do we move our sense of wisdom and our sense of self beyond right and wrong, good and bad, between these dualities? And how do we see and help others to see the deeper meaning of any given situation or of our life? So I invite you now to just breathe into that space and notice what's surfacing for you. Perhaps there's something going on in your life that you want to focus on to develop that sense of clearer perception or intuition, a clearer connection to a bigger picture. Moving away from rigid one-way thinking or insensitivity. Just open up a little bit brighter. And if none of that resonates with you, it's totally fine to set an intention for yourself tonight that's going to help you, maybe in body or maybe in breath. Take one more inhalation where you are, and then on the exhale, release your hands by your sides. When you feel the next inhalation come, circle your arms up overhead. So we're reaching up a little bit higher than this third eye, but then tilt your head so that third eye, you can keep your eyes closed, right? We're working with intuition tonight. Points up towards your hands as they join at the top. Take one more deep breath right there. And on the exhalation, slowly draw your hands down the midline, past the seventh chakra, pausing for a moment at the sixth chakra, right at your forehead center. Take one more deep inhalation here. And then as you exhale, draw your hands past your fourth chakra, your throat, coming into Anjali Mudra at your heart center, the fourth chakra, for a moment here, sealing your intention, connecting to all of your body, breath, mind practices. And then exhale, release your hands, softly blink open your eyes. We're going to do a little pranayama practice tonight. So this is called bee breath or Brahmari. You're going to take, if it's comfortable for you, and if it's not comfortable, you can just cover your ears a little bit. But if it's comfortable for you, you're going to place your thumbs on your ears to close them a little bit. And then bring your second and third fingers onto your third eye space. And then maybe rest your fourth and pinky fingers on your eyes. If any of that feels too weird or uncomfortable, you're going to just release that. Right? It's always okay just to cover your ears, but what we're gonna do in this, don't cover your ears so much that you can't hear me, of course, right, not yet, is we're gonna take a deep inhalation, and on the exhalation, we're gonna have a slight hum, like a buzzing bee, and just notice with your own breath, do about 3 to 5 rounds of this. Notice the resonation in your fingers, in your head space. Connect as much as you can with that sixth sense as you engage in Brahmari bee breath. Deep inhalation, and on the exhalation, a slight hum. When you're done with your pranayama practice, just come back to normal breath. Eyes may want to remain closed, or just a soft gaze for a few moments to notice the feelings that you have after that breath practice. Softly blink open your eyes and extend your legs long in front of you. Shake them out a little bit. So we're gonna do a little self-care tonight, a little foot massage. So you're gonna take one foot and cross it over your thigh. If that's not comfortable, right, you can adjust as you need. And then we're gonna just massage that foot out. Maybe crack your toes like mine do. Just get into the arch, get into the outer edge, get into the ball and the heel, just all over, just noticing what's going on in your feet tonight. And then you're gonna make some lines from your heel all the way up the sole of your foot to one toe. And when you get to that toe, you're gonna give it a little wiggle and a pull. And you're gonna do that 4 more times. So you're drawing 5 lines up the sole of your foot from heel to toe, and then wiggle that toe and pull it out. So the reason we're doing this little foot massage work tonight, not only is it really important for self-care, but if you think about it, when we're marching in a protest, walking around in the world, in the skin that we're in, and the bodies that we occupy, right? Our feet are what connects us to that earth. The feet are the most grounding part of our body, really, right? And then once you get to that 5th toe, give it a little pull, and then you're gonna grab the base of your big toe and the base of your pinky toe and give it a little wiggle waggle. So as we've been working on the chakras, we've been moving from the grounding energy of the root chakra. Now we're up at the 6th one. Interlace your fingers and your toes. So you're trying to get the webbing of your fingers and the webbing of your toes as close as possible. And then you're gonna make some circles. And you can do it a couple of different ways. You can circle the ankle, or you can keep the ankle a little bit more still and make almost like a figure 8 with the ball of your foot. Try both of those in both directions. So as we move into Ajna, into the 6th chakra, we want to make sure that we stay super connected to the grounding parts of our energy and bodies so that we don't sort of like go off into the ethers, right? That's part of this connection to perception versus intuition here too. All right, once you've gone in both directions, lift and spread your fingers, lift and spread your toes. Keep your toes active as you slide your fingers out. Point your foot and flex your foot. And then make a soft fist with your hand, and you're gonna just pound out the sole of your foot. And then open hands on the top and the bottom of your foot. And then grab a hold of the outside edge of your foot or your shin and just open up in through the hip a little bit. Lengthen that leg out, draw the flesh back on your buttocks so that you're seated really strongly. And then you're gonna just reach down and give your whole leg a massage. So you can do it in sort of a rubbing, kneading way, or if you like the fist pounding, you can do that. Be sweet and gentle, especially around the knee. Keep your knee a little bit bent as you get up near that area. And you can go all the way up into your hips, maybe even into your low back on that side. And then extend your legs and sit up nice and tall once you've done that self-massage. And just take a deep breath and feel the difference, if there's anything, between one leg and the other, between one foot and the other, between one side of your body and the other. And then we'll do the other side. Starting off just with a gentle massage. Notice if there's any nice, dirt on the soles of your feet, if you've been outside in the garden, wearing flip-flops. Notice if you need to take a shower tonight. Notice the difference too between this foot and the other foot. Maybe there's a spot on this foot that was not there on the other one. And then just like we did before, we're going to do those lines from heel up to toe, a little wiggle and a pull when you get to the top. So if you have not had the opportunity to take any fascia release classes with Trisha or Jenny, we are actually working through some fascia in our feet, which is basically the connective tissues that we've got, right? So if you like this sort of thing, I think Trisha's teaching on Tuesday mornings, I think. Once you finish doing those 5 toes, you're gonna grab a hold of the big toe mound, little toe mound, give it a wiggle waggle and a shake. And then you're gonna interlace your fingers and toes. And then give, oh, this one's a little harder for me tonight. All right, and then give it a good waggle. One direction and then the other, circling both the ankle and the ball of the foot. And once you've done that, lift and spread your fingers, lift and spread your toes. Keep your toes active as you slide your fingers out. Give it a nice little point and a flex. And then a soft fist, pounding out the sole of your foot. And open hands on the top and bottom of your foot. Hold on to the outside edge of that foot or your shin. Open it up through the hips a little bit. Stretch your leg long, draw the flesh back so you feel that strong connection. And then we're gonna go ahead with our massage or whatever feels good for you on your legs. And then up into your hips or low back. And when you're done, you can just give yourself a nice little gentle stroke. Right? Super sweet, even up your arms, wherever it feels good, just a sweet touch. And then sit up nice and tall. Dandasana, staff pose. Lift and spread your toes. Lift your torso at the same time that you're grounding down strongly into the earth. Good, draw your left knee up and give it a little hug. So we're gonna do some sweet, gentle twists to start tonight, just because we haven't done a lot in our spine yet. So you can leave your foot where it is next to your the inside of your knee, or you can cross it over, your choice. Just make sure wherever you are that you feel that sense of grounding and connection. Draw your belly towards your thighs, let your shoulders come down your back just a little bit. Take a deep inhalation here. Feel that response of belly on breath, and then on the exhale, we're gonna turn towards the left. So left hand can go behind, right arm can hug the knee or even come around if that's accessible. What you don't wanna do is sink into the spine. So almost as though you can stick your bum out a little bit like we do when we're doing our cow pose. Right, we want this twist to feel stable, so make sure you've got grounding on both sides of your hips. And the twist comes more from the center of the spine. Take one more deep breath here, and then on your next exhalation, you're gonna release. If you had that foot crossed, uncross it and extend it out. One deep breath here, back in staff pose. And then draw the right knee up and over or just up. Pause here for a moment, hug on to your outer shin. Feel that response, that connection of belly and thigh here. And then on your exhalation, you're going to turn towards the right. So shoulder might want to lead the way into a bigger twist than spine is ready for. So see if you can keep your shoulders stable on your back and allow the twist to come more from like your heart center. Again, arm can keep holding on to the knee or come to the outside edge, or you can even bring your hands together in Anjali Mudra. That will deepen it a little bit more because you've got pressure on your hands, pressure on your knee to turn a little bit more deeply. Take one more breath, inhale deeply. Exhale to unwind. Send your leg out straight again. Have one more nice big breath here. Nice, and then you're gonna bend your knees, come onto hands and knees. Patting under the knees is totally welcome. And when you get onto hands and knees, to start just move in a way that feels really good for you, right? No yoga poses needed. We'll do some cat-cows together in a moment. Child's pose is a good option. Just swaying from side to side is a good option. Whatever feels good for you. This is a little transition place, but also a chance for you to just get into body and breath. So as you're moving your body in a way that feels good, connect again with breath and see if you can align breath and movement in whatever it is that you are doing. And then let's join together in some cat-cows with your breath as you inhale. Draw your hands isometrically towards you. Lift your heart. Exhale, pushes the floor away from you as you round and look towards belly button. A couple more, just like that, super sweet and easy, moving with your breath and seeing if you can feel the articulation in each vertebra. If it feels delightful, you can even slow this down more and take 2 breaths per movement. Another option is after you've done cow pose on your inhalation, press from cat pose all the way back into child's pose. And then float yourself forward back into cow. For 2 more rounds of your breath, make this cat-cow your own. Okay? And then the next time you come into cow pose, pause. Let's draw some awareness into our hands as they isometrically draw towards the body, drawing the shoulder blades down and back, allowing the neck to be long, not to be the guide for this movement, but to be in line with the spine, right? So we're not lifting and cranking our neck up. Bring awareness now to your knees. Notice how they're pressing into the earth and how that press supports your bum sticking out a little bit here, right? It's not just about dropping belly. Take one more deep inhalation right here. And then on the exhalation, push the floor away from you, round your spine super deeply. Look down, feel the length coming into your neck now. Notice if you started pushing back towards your heels, let's stay with this idea of pressing into the floor with hands super strongly. Shoulder blades move away from each other. Notice the grounding energy of your knees pushing into the earth and lifting your bottom so that your tailbone descends towards your heels. And then on the next inhalation, float yourself into table pose. Good job. If your wrists are feeling it right now, definitely take a break. We're going to move into some balanced table work. Little bit of core work here. So you might want to walk your knees a little bit closer towards each other. We're going to send our left leg back. Toes stay on the floor for a moment. You're going to feel how your knees and toes are pointing towards the floor. And then on your next inhalation, you're going to keep knees and toes pointing towards the floor, but lift your leg. On your next inhalation, you're going to lift your right arm. Take a deep breath here. Feel a lift and a length. Lift on the inhale, lengthen on the exhale. One more breath right here. On your next exhalation, we're going to touch all the way back down. Inhale into cow pose. Exhale all the way back through cat pose into child's pose. Everybody gets a little wrist break here. You can certainly roll your wrists around in circles as you're down in child's pose, or just take a breather for a moment. Inhale is going to float you back up to table. Get that steady table, ribs draw in, belly draws in and up towards your spine. This time, bring your knees together a little bit and then send your right foot back. Notice how your knees and toes are pointing down, and then on your next inhalation, lift just your leg for a moment. Get your balance steady, and then on the next inhalation, lift your left hand. Notice the engagement in core that helps you stay strong and stable. On your inhalation, lift just a little higher, and on the exhalation, see if you can reach further back through your heel and out through your fingertips. You guys look really beautiful. Take one more breath there. Exhale touches back down to table pose. Inhale through cow pose, and exhale all the way back to child's pose for just a breath or two. All right, gather up a couple of blankets. If you have a bolster, that's great. So I am using blankets like we have in the studio, and I'm going to fold them in half and then just place them stacked on top of each other. If you're working with some other materials, you're going to just try to make a stack so that when you come into our next pose, which is Anahataasana, which is our heart melting pose, that you're able to rest your forehead on the blankets. So this is going to require some, playing with the setup. To get into Anahataasana, we're going to come back through table, bring our forearms down, and then rest our head down on the pile of blankets, right? So you don't want your whole face planted in your pile. It's just for your forehead. And what we're doing in this pose is keeping our butt up in the air, right? And we're really drawing our heart down towards the earth. Releasing into the earth energy, opening up our heart space, and having that little stack of blankets or pillows or whatever you have under your forehead, just to give a little bit of pressure so that you're aware of third eye. It looks like everybody's found a way to melt into Anahataasana. We'll stay here for 2 more breaths. And then once you're done with that second exhalation, you can leave the blankets right there. Come back into table pose. We're going to lift up our left leg. So the sole of your foot is going to go towards the sky. Thigh is going to be about parallel towards the earth. A little bit more core work here. On the inhale, you're going to lift your foot. And on the exhale, you're going to draw it in towards your nose. Inhale, lift your foot. Exhale, draw it across your body towards your right elbow. Head comes down. Inhale to lift. Exhale, this time it goes towards the outside of the left elbow. Inhale to lift. Exhale, bring the knee back down towards the ground. Pause for a moment again. If you need to take some pressure off your wrists, please do. So we're doing a little bit of hip motion and we're doing a little bit of core work here. The core work comes in only though if you do it intentionally. So in table pose, get your core engaged. Draw your belly button in and up a little bit. Draw your front ribs in. It might feel like you're puffing up your back a little bit, but often when we're in table pose, we tend to sag, right? That's not always true for everyone, so you do what's right for you. All right, inhale, lift your right foot towards the sky. Thigh is parallel towards the floor. Take a deep breath here. And then exhale, draw nose towards knee, round your back. Inhale, up. Exhale toward the left elbow. Inhale, up. Exhale towards the right elbow. Inhale, up. Exhale, touch back down. Good. Come back down onto your forearms like we did in Anahataasana. Right, so our bum is up in the air, forehead's down, forearms are down. Stay here or send your bum towards the sky and begin straightening your legs in dolphin pose. Stay there, or if you've got the flexibility and the strength in your shoulders, you can walk your feet a little bit closer towards your head. Stay there for one more breath, backing off if you need to at any point in time. And then exhale, everybody, bring yourself back down to child's pose. Your head might come off the blankets. And just give your arms a chance to rest by drawing the hands towards your feet, palms facing up. Nice, right where you are, inhale, come all the way up. Clasp your hands behind your back at your sacrum. Right, so if sitting on your heels is not gonna work for you, you can always come up a little bit higher or try a different seated position. Clasp your hands behind you, inhale, open up your heart. Don't allow the neck to lead the way, allow your heart to lead the way. Exhale, fold forward. Maybe your head will come to your blankets, maybe it won't. And send your arms clasped together towards the sky. Inhale yourself nice and tall. Exhale, release the head towards the ground or your blankets. Arms go towards the sky. One more, just like that. Inhale, lifts you up. And exhale, releases, hands go up. Inhale will bring you back up. Release your arms and shake them out a little bit. Whew, that's a good one when you've got some whiplash too. All right, everyone, move the blankets out of the way or whatever props you were using. Come into an extended child's pose. You're gonna stretch your arms along your mat. Come up onto spider fingers and isometrically draw those spider fingers toward yourself so that you can lengthen your heart, the crown of your head a little bit more towards the front of your mat. And then plant your hands, tuck your toes, and come into our first downward facing dog of the night. Pedal your feet, switch your feet from side to side, whatever feels good for you. Bring some movement into your dog. And then some stillness. Keep your knees bent as much as you want if you need to do that for your tailbone to go higher. If you've got the flexibility in your hamstrings, begin lengthening your legs, pressing them down into the earth. Thighs are strong, elbows draw towards each other. Ears stay in line with your arms. Super good. Let's do right leg. Whoops, up. Take a deep breath here in this one-legged down dog. Exhale, draw your knee toward your nose. Step your right foot forward or swiggle it forward to get into a little bit of a low lunge. Blocks might be really nice to have here. As many of you know, lunge happens to be one of my favorites. I love that we can get two different actions. We can get a strengthening and an opening at the same time. So play here and lunge for a few moments, right? Lifting a little higher, maybe twisting your hips a little bit. And then come to a lunge and just notice. Notice if you're sinking out into your right hip and draw it in if you are. Notice if you're sagging in your back leg and press it strongly, lifting your knee a little bit higher. Notice if you've got any energy going on in your upper body and lengthen to bring some energy there. Super beautiful, everyone. From here, we're going to take one more deep inhalation. And then on the exhalation, we're going to straighten the right leg. Left heel might come back down. Inhale, come back to your lunge. Exhale, straighten. One more, just like that. Inhale into your lunge. Exhale, straighten. Good job. Inhale into your lunge. This time we're going to stay with our straight leg. Blocks can be really nice again here. See if you can lengthen your spine. So send your energy from your hips that are drawing towards each other down into your feet, and then back up your hips and out through the crown of your head. If you can keep the length in your spine, you can always come down a little bit more. And then maybe you'll lower your nose towards your knee. It might not ever get there. Mine probably won't. That's not the point. The point is to keep hugging in, drawing in, and keeping some length. Good job. One more breath. We're going to stay here, maybe 2 or 3. Clasp your hands behind your back. Bring a little bit more length into your spine. Exhale, touch back down towards your block. Then remove blocks, place your hands on the mat, and step back downward facing dog. The hands clasped behind your back in pyramid pose was a little test for balance. Sometimes it's just fun. Nice job, everyone. Left leg goes nice and high. Pause there for a nice deep breath. Exhale, draw nose towards knee. Step your left foot forward, as many steps as it takes. Here you are in lunge again. Spend some time moving around. Right? And then isometrically draw your feet towards each other, keeping that back leg nice and lifted. Hips draw in, lengthen the spine. Nice, and then send some energy out through your heel and out through the crown of your head. Notice your tendencies, where you want to sink and settle and bring a little bit more stira, a little bit more strength there. Good. Inhalation, lengthen. Exhalation, extend the knee, let it be nice and long. Left knee straight. Inhale, bend. Exhale to straighten. Inhale to bend. Exhale to straighten. Good. Inhale to bend. This time when we straighten, we're going to stay here for a few breaths. You know we're going to move into that clasped hands. So before we go there, draw energy in. Right? So super strong. Keep your spine super long. Maybe lengthen your spine a little bit more. If it feels good to drop your nose down just a little bit, you can. And then know where we're going. Draw that energy in. Super stable. Stretch your hands behind you, lengthen your spine. Hands are clasped behind your back. One more breath. Exhale, touch all the way down to the floor. Send yourself back, downward facing dog. And come down onto your knees. If you want to do a little bit of a chakra, a little flow between there, you can. Everybody's going to meet in child's pose in just a moment. Gather your thoughts, gather your energy, gather your breath. Nice, everyone. Tuck your toes, lift your bum enough to tuck your toes. Extend your arms nice and long in front of you, and then lift your knees back to downward facing dog. Take 2 breaths right here. What's the cue that your yoga teacher usually gives you when they see you in down dog that works best for you? Do that. 1 more breath. And then we're going to walk our hands all the way back towards feet and end up in a forward fold, Uttanasana. Knees can be bent when you get there, maybe even a little swaying. And then press into the earth, maybe lengthen your legs, straighten them from heel up through your tailbone. Maybe let your head release a little bit more. Good job. Let's do 3 pranams here. Inhale, halfway, lengthen your spine. Exhale, release. Inhale, press into the floor, lengthen and lift halfway. Exhale, releases you. 1 more, just like that. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to release. Nice job. Bend your knees pretty deeply here. And you're gonna come up through chair pose. So keep your spine nice and long. Lift just your torso. Knees are gonna stay bent. Hands can come to Anjali Mudra or press into your thighs to help you keep that lift in your back. If you like the version with your arms overhead, that's another option. Stay here for 2 more breaths. Feel as though you've got a squeeze between your thighs. Your knees are not touching, but there's a squeeze between your thighs. All right, on your next inhalation, rise all the way up. Maybe look up and open up. And then exhale, hands come to your heart center. Good. Release your hands, shake it out. We're gonna be in mountain pose for a few minutes. I'm gonna just adjust so my head doesn't get cut off. All right. Stand with your feet about hip distance. We're gonna do a little toe exercises. Lift and spread all 10 toes. Nice, see if you can just place your big toe down. Lift your big toe, see if you can place your 4 little toes down. Lift all your toes, see if you can place your big toe and your little toe down at the same time. The 3 in the middle are sticking up. And notice if your hands are helping. Those of you in my Thursday morning class when we were in the studio know I do this a lot. All right, lift and spread your toes. 10 up, and now you're gonna go 10 down 1 at a time, starting with your pinky. Pinky, 4th toe, 3rd toe, 2nd toe, big toe. And then when you get them all down, take a deep breath. That's hard work. The reason we do that is to make sure that we have connection to our feet, right? The more our mind and our feet connect, the more mindfully we can move through the world. Connects to our 6th chakra as well. Knowing how we move through the world. All right, let's get the rest of your body ready for mountain pose. Your toes are there, right? You've got a little lift in your arch, a little lift in your knees, a little lift in your belly. Ribs are in. Right, so notice what you need in this mountain pose for yourself. If you've got more weight on the heels, see if you can bring a little bit more weight into the balls of your feet to center yourself. If you've got a little bit more weight on one side or the other, just notice, and then make whatever adjustments you need to have a really strong mountain. Right, you know your bodies, you know what you tend to do. I tend to stick my butt out. So for me, it's a matter of just tucking my tailbone a little bit, bringing a little bit more length and strength into my belly. Breathe once you get into your mountain pose. Be still and breathe for 2 more breaths. Use this moment once again to connect with your intention or what you set for yourself to focus on tonight. Nice, and then shift your weight over towards your left foot. We're gonna do tree pose. Tons of variations. Toes can stay on the ground if you want a little bit more stability. You can slide your foot up or reach down and pick it up and place it on your upper thigh. Hands can come to Anjali Mudra or branch out. I find balancing on carpet to be super tricky, so my foot is going to stay down tonight. We're going to stay here for 2 more breaths. See if you can lengthen a little bit taller. Draw in and hug in towards your midline a little bit more. Don't forget to breathe. That exhalation is super important. On your next exhalation, you're going to release your hands, release your foot, and shake it out. Nice. Second side. Plant your right foot, super strong leg. Right? Already you're going to draw that hip in. And then we're going to do tree pose this way too. And notice as you go into tree pose super slowly, if you tend to stick your right hip out when you do it. If so, draw it in a little bit more so that you've got a strong connection, a solid foundation to go from. And this time, if you want, bring your hands in Anjali Mudra to your 6th chakra, right at your 3rd eye space. Notice what that does. See if you can intuitively adjust your body's muscular energy to hold your pose for 1 more breath. Next exhalation, you're going to release and shake it out. All right. Our next standing pose, Garudasana, eagle pose. Lots of fun ways to get into this. If balance is really tricky for you tonight, as it is sometimes for all of us, you can do it at the wall, and you can do it in lots of bus stops along the way. So inhale, everyone, and take your arms nice and wide. Good job. Let's just, for a moment, do a little bit of swinging and twisting. Right? And you can do this in any way that you want. You can even separate your feet and bend your knees and get your whole body into it. Right? We're just giving ourselves a little chance to release before we hug in and tighten super strong in eagle pose. And you can move around, even that little slap of your hands against your hips or thighs. All right. Shake it out and come back to mountain pose. All right, we're going to start with our legs. So actually bring your feet hip distance apart and sit back in your tall chair. We never get to go out with our friends for drinks anymore, so let's all have a drink together. Dirty martini, my favorite, with lots of olives. It's really an excuse for the olives, but that's okay. All right, we're going to cross our right leg over. Now toes can stay there, and if your toes don't reach, grab a block or a blanket and place them under your toes, or wrap them around behind your left ankle. Arms come out wide. This time, right arm comes under, cross so that the backs of your palms are together, or interlace so that your palms touch. Lift your arms a little bit. Maybe sit down a little bit deeper. And then see, Garudasana is really hard because we lose part of our line of vision. See if, with the intuitive sense, this perception we're developing, right? You can just stay strong for 1 more breath. On your next inhalation, come up into karate pose and then release. I learned that transition from Susie Hurley. All right, shake it out, and then we're going to do the other side. Here we go. Feet are hip distance apart. Sink into your bar stool. I guess since we're hanging out together, we could have another drink. Maybe I'll have water this time. Left knee crosses over right. Toes can stay down or wrap behind. Draw that energy in, then extend your arms. Left arm comes under right. Palms come together, either the backs or the fronts. Lift your arms a little bit. You've lost your line of vision. See if you can figure out what you need to do in your body, muscularly, energetically, to stay for 1 more breath. Next inhalation, unwind, Karate Kid pose, and then exhale, release. Nice job, everyone. Shake it out. All right, come back down onto the floor now. So if you have a blanket, you're welcome to sit on one. You can also bring those blankets to the side so that you can use them for a little bit of support for your head. Make sure you check to ensure you have lumbar curve. Using a blanket under your bum might help. Moving that flesh away might help. Sit up really tall in Dandasana staff pose once again. And then we're gonna exhale and come into Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold, right? So really spread your butt cheeks out. Keep your spine nice and long. And begin just walking your hands down. Keep your spine long. Take a deep inhalation, lengthen from tailbone to crown of the head, and maybe come down a little bit further. Or bend your knees and come down a little bit further. Nice. If you've got that length in your spine and you want to reach towards your feet to hold on, or bend your knees so that your feet are a little bit closer, hold on to the soles of your feet if possible. Lengthen and then release. We're going to stay here for a breath or two wherever you are. Notice what's happening to your body with each inhalation, with each exhalation, a little bit more settling. And then the blankets that you have by your side or the bolster or whatever you have, you're going to bring onto either your knees or your thighs if the pressure on these is too much. And then you're going to bend your knees if you need to and bring your head down towards the blankets to rest. If it's too difficult to get a comfortable position here, you don't need to worry about it. It's just an option. For me, it works best if my knees are bent and I actually have the blankets more on my shins so that my forehead rests a little bit more comfortably. On your next inhalation, lengthen and lift. Place your props off to the side. Sit back up nice and tall. Nice. Similar pose that we just did, Paschimottanasana. We're going to do Janushirshasana. That's a mouthful. Bring your left leg out to the side just a little bit and then draw your right heel toward your pelvic floor. And then turn your body a little bit towards your left leg. If this leg feels like it's hanging out and needs a little bit of support, or your hip needs a little bit of support, grab one of those blankets and place it under. Lengthen your spine. You're going to turn towards your left knee. And then exhale, begin walking your hands down your leg, just like you did before. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come down. You're going to reach towards your foot either with a straight leg or a bent knee. And then once you take your next inhalation, on the exhalation, you're going to release your head towards me. Again, if you like that feeling, you can always grab another blanket, place it there for your head to rest on. If your left leg is extended, keep it active. Take 2 more breaths right there. Backing off whenever you need to. And then inhale is going to lengthen and lift you all the way up. Move those props so you can extend your feet strong together along the floor. And deep inhalation here in staff pose. And then extend your right leg out towards the side just a little bit as you draw your left heel in. So this side is going to be really different, right? Move the flesh of your buttocks so that you get that good seat. Prop up your knee if you need to, and then turn your torso towards your right leg. Lengthen your spine and begin walking down your hands on your leg as far as works for you, right? You can always keep your hands on your shin and draw your knee up, and there you go. It's the same idea, right? If tight hamstrings are holding you back, just take it away from them a little bit. If you're able to keep your spine long and reach for your foot, keep that leg active and then begin releasing your head down. Again, that option to take a blanket folded along your shin to rest your head on, or not. Right leg stays active. Keep pressing into both sits bones. 2 more breaths right here. Next inhalation, lengthen and lift all the way up. Move your props out of the way and let's roll down onto our backs. Keep your knees bent and your feet about hip distance apart. This is my favorite way to end an asana practice. Many of you have done it with me lots before. We're going to do bridge with some moving arms. Press into your feet, and as you lift your belly, you're going to lift your right arm up and overhead. Exhale brings everything back down. Inhale, the second time is left arm up and overhead. Exhale, release everything to the floor. Third round, both arms come up as belly lifts. Exhale, everything comes down. So a yogi's choice bridge pose now. You can either do 3 rounds like that. You can even pause with the arms lifted, pressing into the floor. You could do a more traditional bridge pose with hands in bookends or underneath of your back clasped behind you. You can even grab a block or some blankets and do a more restorative bridge. We're going to stay in this bridge variation, whatever you're doing, and it certainly can change, for a few rounds of breath. If you're in a more traditional version of bridge pose, make sure your knees are tracking parallel, right? Not aiming in or out, almost as if you have a block between your thighs, hugging in, pressing into the earth, and lifting your heart center. Wherever you are, you can always switch, coming into a restorative pose if you prefer. Stay for 2 more rounds of breath. And then on your next exhalation, if you have a block beneath you, press into the floor to lift up and remove it. And then you're going to come all the way down super, super slowly. When your bottom reaches the mat, press your head into the floor and lengthen your spine. Feel the release of belly, the release of low back. Knees stay bent for a few breaths. And then draw your knees in towards your belly. Make some circles on the ceiling. Little circles or big circles or a combination. And then go in the opposite direction if you haven't already. Nice. Draw your knees in towards your chest, and if it feels good, lift your nose towards your knee for a little tight hug. On your next exhalation, release your head, release your feet towards the earth. Yogi's choice before Shavasana tonight. So if you want to do a twist or a happy baby, or just get yourself ready for Shavasana, whatever would feel good for you tonight. And then as you begin making your way into Shavasana, Get whatever props you need, a blanket for over your body or under your head, a sweatshirt, whatever would make Shavasana the most restful and comfortable place for you. Make those movements like we do each time we come to this place of centering and settling, right? Shift your feet around, lengthen your spine a little, roll your head from side to side. And then come to a place of quiet and stillness. And then using the power of your breath, feel a little bit more grounded, a little bit more soft in your feet. With the power of your breath, fill your legs with love. And then with each exhalation, allow your legs to soften into the mat or whatever is beneath you a little bit deeper. With the power of your breath, fill your belly and low back with breath. And then exhale, feel belly muscles, back muscles slowly softening. Notice your mid-back, your ribs, and the torso, and the mid-back, filling with breath, all that beautiful light and energy, and with each exhalation, softening and melting into the floor a little bit more. Notice breath's power now in your shoulders and arms. With each exhalation, softening and draping yourself onto the mat a little bit deeper. Notice breath as it flows in through your nostrils, down through your throat. With each exhalation, softening the muscles of your face a little bit more. The tongue rests softly in the back of your mouth. Teeth slightly separated. Soften your cheeks, the inner and outer corners of your eyes, the inner ear. And then for just one more moment, bring attention to your third eye, that space between your eyes and the middle of your forehead. And see if you can drop that a little bit deeper into your mat, softening the brow as you rest and receive the benefits of your practice in Shavasana. Begin now to deepen your breath as you bring awareness back to the present moment. Allow a wiggle of the fingers or toes to bring awareness back to your body in the present moment. As you are ready, make those motions a little larger, maybe reaching above to stretch, or drawing your knees in towards your chest. As you're ready, you're going to roll onto one side, pausing in that fetal position for a few breaths. Giving yourself some time and space to just return from the practice back to the present moment. And then using the strength of your arms, press yourself up to a good seat. We're going to do a few minutes of meditation to end our practice together tonight. You're welcome to sit on a chair or the couch or the bed, sitting on your mat with props. However you take your seat, do those wiggle and movements that help you feel a little bit more settled, a little bit more connected to the earth beneath you, a little bit taller and lifted and strong in your torso and in your head. Take a moment here at the start of our quiet centering meditation to just reflect on your practice tonight. Reflect on the intention that you may have set for yourself. Notice how body, breath, mind are feeling in this moment. Again, not to judge, just to be aware. For our third eye meditation tonight, we're going to place our hands in Hakini Mudra. So just listen first, and if it doesn't make sense, open up your eyes. You're going to bring all 10 fingers, touching pinky to pinky, fourth finger to fourth finger, and so on, pressing the fingertips of each finger into the other hand. And then you're going to just allow your shoulders and elbows to soften a little bit. A gentle pressure on your fingertips is what we're going for. The other part of this practice is going to be a way we move our tongue with breath. So on your inhalation, you're going to place your tongue against the roof of your mouth to inhale. And on the exhale, release and relax your tongue. Try that for a few moments, a few breaths. Press your tongue on the roof of your mouth for inhale. Release your tongue on the exhale. Where your tongue goes, it's going to be dependent on your physiology, your body structure, right? It might be in the roof of your mouth or behind the ridge of your teeth. So just notice wherever it feels best for you. It's a little strange, but stick with it for a few more breaths. If it's comfortable to keep that breath and tongue movement pattern going, please do. If not, you're going to let it slide. Fingertips stay pressed together. And then you're going to draw your eyes, they're closed, but look up towards your third eye space between your eyebrows. Keep the breath going, fingertips pressing towards each other. We're adding in eyes looking up. We'll add in one more piece here. Again, fingers keep touching, tongue and breath are synchronizing, eyes are looking up, or none of the above. And perhaps you can now notice an indigo, a purplish, bluish, glowing ball of energy and light. right at the third eye, right at Ajna, right at sixth chakra. Perhaps with each inhalation, that light gets a little brighter. Some people see it as more of a white light. Just notice whatever color surfaces for you. And then with each exhalation, see if you can feel the light and energy from that glowing ball at third eye center, descending into all of your cells. From third eye, up into the crown of head, all the way down to your toes. Fingers, tongue, breath, eyes, and that glowing ball of energy and light are all options for the final few moments of meditation. And then we'll release those sensations in the opposite order. So soften that glowing ball of energy and light. Allow your eyeballs to relax. Release the tongue practice with breath. And then bring your hands to Anjali Mudra. Palms pressed together at heart center. Take one deep breath here. The power of our sixth chakra also helps us sense justice and ethics. So to close our practice tonight, we'll take a deep breath in. Exhale, lower your chin and bow to your own beautiful light and energy. May I see and perceive clearly on every level and seek only the truth. May you see and perceive clearly on every level and seek only the truth. And may we all see and perceive clearly on every level and seek only the truth. Take one more deep inhalation. Exhale, release your hands. Softly blink open your eyes.